knew they were trouble. Everyone told you, your friends, your family, that little voice in your head at 2 a.m. This person is going to hurt you. And you've stayed anyway. Maybe you're still staying. Or maybe you've left, but you can't stop thinking about them. Can't stop comparing everyone new to the chaos they brought. And the worst part? The healthy ones, the stable ones, the ones who actually show up, they feel boring. Why? Why does your heart race for the person who never ticks back but goes flat for the one who does everything right? This isn't weakness. This isn't stupidity. This is psychology. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening in your brain and why the most dangerous people feel like the most alive ones. This video isn't about judging your choices. It's not about labeling people as good or bad. It's about understanding something deeper. Why do we want what hurts us? Because the attraction to bad boys and bad girls isn't random. It isn't shallow. It isn't a flaw. It's a deeply wired psychological response built into your brain over decades of experience. And once you understand it, you can finally break free from it. Let's go. Number 1, the dopamine trap. Chaos is chemically addictive. Let me tell you about Maya. Maya dated James for 2 years. James was exciting, unpredictable. One week, he was the most romantic person she'd ever met. Next week, he disappeared. No text, no explanation, just silence. And when he came back, Maya felt relief so intense, it felt like love. She wasn't crazy. She was chemically hooked. Here's the science. Your brain runs on dopamine, the chemical of reward, pleasure, and motivation. And here's what most people don't know. Dopamine isn't released when you get the reward. It's released in anticipation of the reward. The waiting, the wondering, the maybe. This is called variable reward reinforcement. It's the same psychology behind slot machines. You don't keep pulling the lever because you always win. You keep pulling because you sometimes win. And unpredictable people, they are human slot machines. Every text back is a jackpot. Every moment of affection, a win. And your brain? It releases more dopamine chasing that unpredictable reward than it ever would for something consistent and guaranteed. This is why the stable partner, who texts back every time, shows up every time, loves you every time, feels flat. Not because they're wrong for you, but because your brain isn't being chemically challenged. There's no chase, no uncertainty, no slot machine. And your dopamine system gets bored. Number 2, the wound recognition effect. You're not attracted to them, you're attracted to the feeling they recreate. This one runs deep. Close your eyes for a second. Think about the first person in your life who made you feel uncertain of their love. Maybe it was a parent who ran hot and cold, present one moment, distant the next, loving when you performed, cold when you didn't. Maybe it was a caregiver who left, emotionally or physically. Maybe it was someone who taught you that love has to be earned. Now think about the bad boy or the bad girl you can't get out of your head. Notice anything familiar? This is called repetition compulsion, first identified by Freud, later expanded by trauma psychologists. Here's how it works. Your brain is wired to repeat familiar emotional patterns, not because they feel good, but because they feel known. The nervous system mistakes familiarity for safety. So if you grew up in an environment where love was conditional, unpredictable, something you had to chase or earn, then someone who makes you chase and earn feels like home. Not a healthy home, but your home. The emotionally unavailable person doesn't just attract you, they activate the unhealed wound you've been carrying since childhood. And your unconscious mind thinks, this time, maybe this time, I can finally win the love I couldn't get back then. You're not falling for them. You're falling for the chance to rewrite your story. Number 3, The confidence paradox. We mistake arrogance for strength. Let me paint a picture. Two people approach you at a party. Person A, warm, attentive, genuinely interested in you, makes eye contact, asks thoughtful questions, clearly likes you. Person B, slightly aloof, self-assured, takes up space, doesn't seem to need your approval. Looks like they have somewhere better to be. Who's more attractive? For many people, it's person B. And here's why. Your brain is wired to read confidence as competence. Evolutionarily speaking, confidence meant resources, dominance meant survival, self-assuredness meant genetic fitness. So when someone walks in completely unbothered by your opinion, your brain registers, this person must have options. This person must be high value. This person is worth pursuing. But here's the trap. Arrogance mimics confidence. The person who doesn't call back looks like someone with options. The person who keeps you guessing looks like someone in demand. The person who dismisses your needs looks like someone who doesn't need anyone. And your evolutionary brain can't tell the difference. It sees the signals of high value without seeing the reality of emotional unavailability. You're not attracted to cruelty. You're attracted to what cruelty disguises itself as: strength. Number 4, the forbidden fruit effect. We want what we're told we can't have. Remember being a child? You could play with any toy in the room, and the one you couldn't stop thinking about was the one on the highest shelf, the one you weren't supposed to touch. This never leaves us. Psychologists call it psychological reactance. The moment someone tells you or implies that something is unavailable, forbidden, or out of reach, you want it more, not less. The bad boy or the bad girl sends constant signals of unavailability. They don't commit, they don't prioritize, they keep one foot out the door. And your brain reads this as rare, exclusive, worth pursuing. It's the same psychology that makes limited edition products sell out in minutes. Scarcity creates desire, and someone who withholds commitment, who makes you feel like you're always almost there, creates a scarcity of love so powerful you'd do almost anything to close the gap. This is why when they finally give you attention, even crumbs, it feels like a feast. Not because it is, but because you've been starving. Number 5, the intensity illusion. Chaos feels like passion. Let me ask you something. Have you ever confused anxiety with excitement? That racing heart when you don't know if they'll text back? That stomach drop when they're cold? That electric rush when they're finally warm again? Here's the psychology. Your body cannot tell the difference between anxiety and excitement. Same racing heart, same shallow breathing, same flood of adrenaline. The only difference is the story your brain tells about it. This is called misattribution of arousal. In a famous study by psychologist Donald Dutton, men were approached by an attractive woman on 2 different bridges. One bridge, sturdy, safe, stable. One bridge, rickety, swaying, terrifying. The men on the scary bridge called her back more, rated her as more attractive, because their fear response got mislabeled as attraction. Now apply this to relationships. When someone makes you anxious, you physically feel them more intensely. Your heart races, your stomach flips, your mind fixates, and you label all of that as, "I've never felt this way about anyone." But you haven't found someone special. You found someone who triggers your stress response, and your brain dressed it up as love. Number 6, the savior fantasy. You think your love can fix them. Here's the story you've told yourself. They're like this with everyone else, but with me, they're different. I see who they really are underneath. I just need to love them enough, and they'll finally choose me. They'll finally change. Sound familiar? This is one of the most powerful psychological traps in existence, and it has a name: the savior fantasy. It goes like this. You see the pain beneath the armor,
the vulnerability beneath the coldness, the lost child beneath the bad behavior. And something activates inside you. Maybe it's empathy. Maybe it's your own wounds recognizing theirs. Maybe it's the intoxicating thought, I could be the one who saves them. Because think about what that would mean. If you could love someone into changing, if your love was so powerful it transformed a person no one else could reach, what would that say about you? That you're special, that you're chosen, that you matter more than anyone else in their world. This is why we stay long after we should, not just because we love them, but because leaving means admitting, my love wasn't enough. And for people who already doubt their worth, that feels unbearable. So we stay and try harder.
And love louder, while they remain exactly who they always were. Number 7, attachment theory. Your nervous system was trained for this. Let's go back to the beginning. Not your first relationship, your first attachment. Psychologist John Bowlby discovered something profound. The way you attach to your earliest caregivers becomes the blueprint for every relationship after. If your caregiver was consistently loving and available, you developed secure attachment. Healthy relationships feel natural. Stable feels safe. But if your caregiver was inconsistent, sometimes warm, sometimes cold, present then absent, loving then critical, you developed anxious attachment. And here's where the bad boy or bad girl comes in. For anxiously attached people, a secure, stable partner doesn't trigger the attachment system. There's no alarm, no urgency, no activation. But an avoidant, unpredictable partner, every alarm goes off. Your nervous system springs to full attention. Your attachment system screams, this connection is threatened, fight for it. And that hyperactivation, that desperate, consuming need to secure the bond, feels indistinguishable from love. You don't just want them, you need them. The way you needed a caregiver who kept leaving you wondering if they'd come back. The uncomfortable truth. So why are you attracted to bad boys and bad girls? It's not because you're broken. It's not because you're stupid. It's not because you like being hurt. It's because your dopamine system is chasing unpredictable reward. Your wounds are seeking familiar patterns. Your evolutionary brain mistakes arrogance for strength. Your psychology makes forbidden things more desirable. Your nervous system confuses anxiety with love. Your savior complex makes you believe you can fix them. Your attachment system was trained to fight for love. Every single attraction you felt had a reason, had a root, had a wound underneath it. So what do you do with this? Here's the truth no one tells you. Understanding the pattern is the beginning of breaking it, because you can't choose differently until you see clearly. So here's your starting point. Step 1. Name what's familiar. Ask yourself, who does this person remind you of? What feeling do they recreate? What wound do they activate? Step 2. Distinguish excitement from anxiety. When you feel that electric pull, ask, is this joy or is this my nervous system in distress? Step 3. Redefine what love feels like. Healthy love is quieter than you think. It doesn't race your heart with uncertainty. It calms it. It doesn't make you chase. It makes you feel found. Step 4. Get therapy if you can. Not because you're damaged, but because these patterns run deep, and the most powerful thing you can do is have someone help you trace them back to their source. Step 5. Give the stable person a real chance, not 3 dates, not a casual try, a real chance. Give your nervous system time to learn that calm isn't boring. It's what you've been missing all along. Here's the bottom line. The bad boy or bad girl isn't special. They're familiar, and familiar feels like fate, when really, it's just a pattern you haven't healed yet. You're not cursed to repeat this forever. You're not wired for self-destruction. You're not someone who can only feel alive in chaos. You're someone who was taught that love comes with uncertainty, and you can unlearn that. It starts with understanding why. It deepens with compassion for yourself, and it ends with choosing differently, even when different feels uncomfortable. Because the person who will genuinely change your life probably won't make your heart race with anxiety and uncertainty. They'll make it feel something rarer, safe. If this video hit close to home, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe and drop a comment. What pattern are you ready to break? Because the most rebellious thing you can do is choose what's actually good for you.